All right. It's time to cover some more exciting games. And we're going to be covering games 20 through 11. Oh, and by the way, I'm Jody.
And I'm Justin.
So this is the third series of our top 40 games, and we've already covered some great games, but we have even more games to come.
Mm-hmm.
And doing these lists, I don't know, I feel like we need to take a month off of work so we can just sit down and play all these games a lot, because doing these lists, I'm like, oh, I want to play this game. Oh, I want to play this game right now. I want to play this game. Oh, I want to play all these games right now. So we're going to take a month off from work and play all these. I'm just kidding. I wish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got lots of fun stuff in store. So let's get this going. All right. So number 20. I'm going to start us off with a nice hefty box. And
Scythe.
So, yes, a lot of fun inside this box. We don't have any expansions. We haven't jumped at that train, but the base game, I really have fun. I love the art in this game. Well, wait, did you say, I think I remember you saying you didn't care for the art very much. I love the art in this.
It doesn't jump out to me as much as it does to you.
I think it's so cool. Well, yes. That's why it's on my list and probably not your list. So this is an engine builder game, and there's a large, beautiful board, and everyone's going to be having different kinds of units out on the board, trying to put buildings out. You got resources. This game has awesome mechs. They just look so cool, and especially with this art, fun stuff. And there's the winner is going to be the first one to get 6 stars, I believe it is, and there's a lot of different ways to get stars. For instance, if you have a certain amount of popularity or power or win a battle or conflict, whatever it's called, there's a bunch of different ways to score points, which is why another reason why I like this game, because I like games where there's a lot of different paths to victory. I feel like I'm really excited. I want to play this one right now. So, yeah, that, I mean, oh, and I also like the player boards, because there's a lot of upgrading you can do. There's that engine building effect. You got your action worker that you're moving around, taking different action. You got like top row actions and bottom row actions, and of course you can upgrade and stuff. It's just fun. I just really enjoy this game. I know you don't really like
It's
this.
not on my list. We'll just go there.
Well, all right. So I enjoy this game. That is my number 20. Scythe. What is yours?
My number 20
Scythe!
is much simpler than Scythe, and it is, in my opinion, prettier.
All right, whatever. What is it?
Yeah. So, mine is an abstract strategy game known as Dragon Castle. Okay,
Yeah.
So Dragon Castle is roughly based around the old game Mahjong.
Like the computer one.
Yeah.
I remember playing the computer one where you're like matching tiles and stuff.
Right.
I actually don't know how to play like the legit Mahjong.
Yeah. Well,
We have it. I should learn how to play that.
all I know is this is really pretty. You've got these really nice chunky tiles they're all white, but their designs on them are colorful. And so it's really pretty sitting out there on the board, and all these tiles are stacked in a pattern on a central board, and then you are trying to draw from that central board to place tiles onto your own player board. You're trying to then make patterns and create different buildings with the same pattern kind of thing. So the little pieces of the little artwork that's on the tiles, you're trying to match those into a certain pattern, and then it's basically you're trying to build a little castle in your player board. Okay, so and it's really pretty, and then you've got these little castle tops that you put on.
I forgot what they're called.
Yeah, they look like little pagoda tops or something like
little
that that you put on top. But it's just a cool little design and cool little game. Abstract, just a lot of fun for me. Very simple to get into as well.
It's a very peaceful game. Like if you just want to sit down and play a game and just relax while you're playing, this is definitely a good one to try, because it is very peaceful. And like he was saying, the tiles are really cool.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah,
vote
they're-
for show and tell. Show and tell.
You show and tell your own games.
Just real quick.
No, right now.
Gosh.
So that's it for me. Number 20, Dragon Castle. Alright guys, we're moving on to number 19, and for me, my number 19 is another tile-laying abstract strategy game. It is Calico, and this is one that Jody's already mentioned early on in her list, so this is one that we definitely have a little crossover with, which we both love this game. Jody loves it for the cats, I love it for the actual game.
I love it for both.
She loves it for the cats, everybody.
No, there's a lot of cat games out there, and a lot of them are not good. This one is a fun cat game.
So, just a really nice, colorful, pops off the table kind of a game. You're trying to create a quilt on your table while meeting little objectives that are there in the quilt, and by meeting those objectives, then you can place these other little buttons that get you extra points, and then you can lay cats on there as well. So just a really fun, kind of cute game that makes you think a little bit, but not super, super hard. It's a good one. It's a good kind of weight for a lot of people to get into, I think.
Yeah, and it's a really nice production. I mean, they did a wonderful job. The quilt boards are like dual layered, and they're super high quality. And it's pretty once at the end of the game when you finish your quilt just to look at. Yeah, it's a very well done, well made game.
Yeah, I agree. So that is my number 19, Calico.
All right, so mine is an ocean-ish theme.
Ocean-ish.
Not so you're building a city underwater.
Not a favorite of mine.
Underwater cities. Okay, so now if you haven't noticed, you can start to tell that I like the heavier games. He likes the simpler abstract games. There's a huge difference here in taste.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so Underwater Cities, it is a fun game. So you're going to be playing a card on your turn, and you're also going to be placing a tile out on one of these on the slots on the board. There's like 3 different main color areas that you can place your tile, and if the card matches the spot that you went to, then you can activate the card ability as well as the action location that you went to. And so I mean you have your own little board where you're having your underwater city and you're trying to expand it, create a larger network. You've got your little domes, which are like the symbiotic and non-symbiotic cities. You can do buildings and tunnels. Yeah, it's just fun. I mean, yes. And so it's definitely a card-driven game. There's different types of cards, like action cards, permanent effect cards that will give you abilities throughout the game, and the end of scoring, in the game scoring cards, and then like production cards, because throughout the game there's some production done where your network is going to produce resources, and you would activate those cards then as well. Yeah, this is just a good one. Lots of fun. I'm going to make him play it.
Yeah, to be fair, I haven't played it yet. I make faces and I make fun of this game because it just does not look like a game that I'm going to enjoy at all.
So I've played it in the past with some other people because I know, it's like pulling teeth to get him to play something like this, but I'm going to get him to play some of these games. Yep, so that is my number 19, Underwater Cities. Moving on to number 18. So my number 18 is a game called Star Realms, and I have this in my nice little box here. So this game is a deck building game, and it's dealing with spaceships, and I love this one. It's colorful. I hope you can see it. There's a bunch of different colors. You got some cool. I love the artwork on these cards too. It just makes it really appealing. You got hey. Yes, you got your blob fighter. You got missile mechs. I don't remember what that one was. Machine base. The hive. There's just yeah. I really love the artwork in this game. And you have different factions, and You can trigger different cards if you have like the same faction on a couple different cards in your play area. And you're trying to basically defeat the other person, get their authority down to 0, and win. And it's a fun back and forth game, deck building. It's sentimental for me too, because this was one of the last games my brother ever got me, and he got me this little nice case here. So it's definitely sentimental too. So we've had a lot of fun playing this together.
Yep. Played a lot.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yep.
So that's my number 18, Star Realms.
And my number 18 is a very, very simple, probably one of the simplest card drafting games out there. It's kind of got some cutesy little artwork and things like that. It is Sushi Go. Okay, it comes in this little tin, and it's just drafting. You have a deck, you have a hand of cards, you take one, pass them to this way, the other person to your other side passes them towards you, as I try not to hit the other person next to me, and then you take one from there and pass them along. Take one from there, pass them along, and you do that until everybody has emptied out all of those decks. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to create these different sets. You're collecting sets of different groupings of cards, and those sets, depending on what they say on them, will give you a number of points. Okay, and basically you do 3 rounds of that, and whoever has the most points at the end of the rounds, at the end of the 3 rounds, is the winner of it. And there may be some end of game bonuses and things like that in it as well. So I like card drafting in general, where you're kind of taking a card and passing. But this was the first one this was probably the first one that I played, and it's one of the simplest and just fun, easy way to get into card drafting games.
Yeah, it definitely was an early one for us. Actually, I think my brother got this for me on a birthday present years and years and years ago. Yeah, I moved on a little bit from it. I'm kind of Sushi Go'd out. But I mean, I guess I'll still play it. But
I'll always Sushi Go.
I know you will.
I'll always Sushi Go. So that is my number 18, Sushi Go. All right, now we're moving on to number 17 on the list. We're getting into some serious games now, right? So for me, my number 17 is a culmination of the GIF series. This is the final one in the series. There was only supposed to be 6, and then they created this one, which kind of brought in elements from all of the other 6 games into this one game. And I really like how it all came together. And there's 6 different colors of these little chips here, and 5 of them are in play, and one's a joker. So, but what you're trying to do is throughout the game, you're trying to basically claim 2 of the colors for you, and basically makes it so that the other player is not really, those are not in play for that other player anymore. So, but like I said, it kind of brings together a bunch of different elements of all of the other GIF games. So trying to explain it is like, it's really difficult to do. But I really, really like it. It's a lot of fun, but it's not my favorite in the GIF series. Well, you'll find that out later.
See, you've already talked about Czar. That was in one of your the previous videos.
So you can't give it away. I know you know what it is, but you can't give it away. So that is my number 17, Link.
Yeah, I want to play this one again. I like this. So, this one brought in some color, believe it or not.
Yeah, so. That's true. Yeah, all the GIF series games are pretty notorious for like
they're just kind of
one or two neutral colors.
This had like, oh hey, there's red and blue and green. So that in and of itself makes me like, ooh, I want to play this game. Yeah. Yes, good choice. Yep. Okay, let's see if you can guess this one. So my number 17 is a fun game that actually just came out recently, but we've played it a good amount of times, and I thoroughly love this game. It is just fun whenever we play. Any ideas?
I got nothing.
Lots of dice.
Lots of dice.
Race.
Yes. This is Cubito.
Cubitos, I think it's how it's supposed to say. So published by AEG. Yet another John D. Clare game. I tell you what, I'm really liking his games.
She's crushing on him, I tell you what.
I mean, Space Base and Ecos and Cubitos. What other OS games?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just really liking the games they're putting out. So this game is, well, let me just say, I really don't like this cover. The cover, bad. But the game is fun. So you have a bunch of different dice. Everyone has their own starting dice, but there's a bunch of different colored dice that you can buy throughout the game, and each color corresponds with the same colored card that gives you an ability. And pretty much your race, you have your little dude on the racetrack, and it's a race to get to the finish line. But this has it's like the deck building but with dice. So and there's a lot of simultaneous play. So everybody's gonna be rolling their dice from the roll phase to start. And any hits you get, you put in the active zone. Once you get 3 more in the active zone, you can push your luck. If you roll and get some more hits, you can add those to the active zone. But if you don't roll any hits, then you bust, and you can't use any of those dice. They get discarded. I just love this game. Yes, there is luck in this game. I mean, but it's fun.
Rolling,
but it's so much fun. I mean, we played this with a couple other friends, and they bought it while we were playing. Like they're like, what is this game? They went on Amazon and pre-ordered it right then and there. Yeah. It's just a blast. It's so much fun. So yeah. That is my number 17, Cubitos. You guys need to check it out. Definitely, because it is a hoot.
It's a good time.
All right. Next up for number 16, I've got here an Alexander Pfister game. It's a pretty popular one. I enjoy it. Not one up his alley. It is Maracaibo. Oh, poor box. Maracaibo. Alright, so definitely some fun stuff here. Definitely a lot of thinkiness and crunchiness here, which is not your favorite thing.
At least I played it.
So it was my birthday last February, and for my birthday present, I asked him to play this game with me. So he sat there and endured this game with me. This has a campaign mode. And I really wish you would play it with me, but I don't think it's gonna happen. And we're limited in who we can hang out with and how many people, and because COVID craziness. So I'm gonna find someone to play the campaign with me eventually. But anyway, this has a really pretty board. You have your ship that you're gonna be sailing around the Caribbean, stopping at different locations, taking different kinds of actions. There's like main city actions that you can take, or village actions. You're going to be trying to fulfill quest tiles, and there's combat. And depending on like your combat value, you can take actions and move up the influence track. And at the bottom of the board, you have the exploring track where you can
see why my brain's about to explode.
You can move along and explore. And if you're like first across different barriers, you can get points. So there's definitely a lot of different ways to get points in this game. Lots of fun. You got lots of cards in this game as well. And one of my favorite things, I love, every player has the same ship, and you can do a lot of ship upgrades. And I just have fun, like, upgrading things, and yeah, so you can do a lot of that, and depending on what you upgrade, will give you different benefits that will help you with the rest of the game, or give you money, or points, or new actions you can take. Lots of fun. I really enjoyed this game. I'm gonna find a way to get him to play with me. Well, at least I got him to play one time. So that is my number 16, Maracaibo.
So for me, it's a smaller game, not number 16, but it is very, very fun to me, and it is Cartographers. So I love this game, and the card art is really pretty in here. It's a card game, and you're flipping cards to reveal terrain, which you are then on your map. You're trying to draw out the terrain into a map, and so it's really, really cool. And then every round, you've got a few objectives that you're trying to meet as well. And so whenever you're trying to meet those objectives, you're trying to think about, okay, what am I doing this round? But then you're also looking at what the objectives are for the next rounds too. So you're like, well, how can I set myself up for those objectives too? So it's kind of like, yeah, yay. But I really like it because it's got a little bit of like a polyomino kind of thing going on with it too, because the patterns that show up on the cards are in little polyomino shapes, and that's how you have to lay them out on the board. And you're trying to cover a lot of space on the board with these patterns. So I just really, really like it. I think it's a great game. As soon as we started playing it, I was loving it. So I'm a big fan of cartographers.
I hear. Did you mention that you're actually like drawing? Because I know you
Yeah,
mentioned
yeah,
a board, so
on
it's not
pen-
really a board that
with
you're
a-
laying
with a
stuff
pencil-
on.
yeah, with a
It's
pencil
like
and
a sheet that's a map.
Right. Yeah.
And
I
drawing.
said you're drawing
Oh, sorry,
a map.
yeah.
So yeah. It's I love it.
Yeah, I thought when I was reading the rules for this game, I was like, oh yeah, Justin's gonna like this one.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at. I'm.
Spatial orientation.
I can't.
Dysfunction.
Yeah, I just can't visualize the shape on there. So every time we play this game, I'm like, Justin, does this work? How do you flip this? How do you rotate?
Yeah. Suddenly I'm playing for two people.
I'm like challenged with. There's something wrong with me. I can't do it. But it's definitely it's good therapy for me. Work on my deficits. But yeah, the art in this game is really pretty for sure.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Love this game. Number 16, cartographers.
Alright, so my number 15 is, I'm thinking a crossover because I did not see it anywhere in the house, and so I think he has it. It is Seven Wonders Duel.
Huh. Okay.
So, Seven Wonders was one of the first games, like card drafting, we really got into a long time ago. We really enjoyed playing it. I think I like Seven Wonders Duel better though. Probably one of the best 2-player games there is out there, and it's so fun because you're getting cards, but you can only grab cards that are not covered, and then you're trying to make sure you have enough resources so you can build wonders, and you can play military cards to move on the track, science cards. It's just a good game. I'll save some of it because I know he'll probably talk about it too. But this is definitely a good 2-player game, and if you haven't checked it out and you like 2-player games, this is a must. So that's my number 15, Seven Wonders Duel.
Okay, so for me, my number 15 is going to be an oldie but a goodie, and this is Lost Cities.
This is like the 2-player segment here.
It is. So Lost Cities is a 2-player game, but it's just a straight up card game where you get a hand of cards, and your goal is to create columns in which you place a card down to start the column, and then every subsequent card that you place in that column has to have a greater number. Okay, so but the thing is, whenever you play a card, you then have to draw a card, and you can draw a card either from the draw pile or from the center of the center board, which is where people will be playing cards. If they don't want to play a card on one of their columns, they can play it on the board, which makes it available for the other person. So you kind of have to be careful what you're potentially giving to the other person. You're kind of looking at what they're putting in their columns too, and you're kind of like, okay, if I put this down, is it going to help them or not? So there's that kind of game that you're playing with that. So I really, really like it. It's really simple. We played this a bajillion times early in our board gaming lives. So
it's a good one.
It's a really fun one, and one that I will always hold close to me.
So this is the 2-player segment here. These are both really good 2-player games. Check them out.
All right, so for our number 14, I'm going to change the pace just a little bit. And I am going to go for a slightly bigger...
My style of game.
Chunkier game.
Ooh.
So I am going to say... Reavers of Midgard. All right, guys, so... I don't normally go for these types of games. It's just a fact. However, this one's fun for me. And, I think part of it is that instead of going overly complex with the game, I generally tend to stick to one or two of, one or two particular actions, and I kind of simplify the game down a little bit for myself. But looking at this board, it's just gorgeous. I absolutely love the color of the board, just all those splashes of color everywhere, and then the fact that you get points and more points and more points and more points, and it's
and
just
more goodies.
There's
lots of goodies
and
in
just
this game.
it's so much fun. I really enjoy Reavers of Midgard, even though it is kind of in one of those categories that for me I normally would not go for.
Yeah, because there's some people. Okay, the board could look busy. There's a lot going on, so yes, it could look busy, but we kind of dig it. We like it. But there's a lot of different locations you can go to and take different actions, and there's a lot of set collection. There's a lot of cards that you're going to be collecting and doing different sets, and a lot of different things you can do, and you can, recruit Reavers and specialize them so that you get bonuses whenever someone goes to a certain location. There's definitely a lot of fun in this game, though. Lots of goodies. Oh, and the dice are so much fun because there's lots of dice in this game, and they're all colorful. You got like red, yellow, blue. Oh my gosh, it's just fun.
She loves her dice.
I love components, and I love lots of color, and there's a lot of colorful dice in here. Yeah. And you get to do combat versus like the Kraken and all kinds of stuff. It's just fun. Yeah,
I love it. So number 14 for me, Reavers of Midgard.
All right, so number 14 for me is a fun game, obviously, because it's on my list. We recently did a top 10 beautiful games with The Broken Meeple with Luke Hector. And we rated this game number 2 as the most beautiful game. What is it?
We rated The Lost Ruins of Arnak at number 2.
Yes. So, this is a pretty recent game, but it just had to make my list. It checks off so many things that I love in a game, and so this baby's here. Okay, so first of all, like we mentioned, this game is absolutely beautiful. So gorgeous. I mean, the board is so vibrant and it feels thematic, and you've got all the different tiles and the cards, just rich color and great artwork. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, and the components. We didn't even go over the components. You got like these cool arrowheads, and the manuscripts actually look like cut out manuscripts. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Remember when I was reading this rule book, and I was like so excited because I'm like, this is one of the best. Okay, I love reading rule books, so that's out there. But this was like one of the best ones because it was really well laid out and nice and fun to read, and it has some that I felt like I was kind of getting ready for this expedition. And so this definitely is a thematic game. Like you feel like you're exploring, and you have one of your actions you can do is research, where you can move up along this research track, trying to get up to the Lost Temple, I think it is. That's one of the actions you can do, and then you can also explore sites. And whenever you explore sites, a guardian tile will be revealed over there, and the guardian tile artwork is amazing. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got some different scary looking creatures, not like super scary, but like a spider or so. I don't even remember. But yes, this game is fun, and it combines like two of my favorite mechanisms, which is I really like deck building and I like worker placement a lot. Got both of those in here. It just feels like seamless play to me. Ah, yes, such a good game. So it had to make my list.
It's one that might make my list in the future.
Yeah, and
but it was so new. We've only played it. I've only played it once.
I played it some more, but I mean, oh my gosh, I knew this game is for me, and this is hitting my list, and future lists it might go higher even because, yeah, it's just a great game. So that is my number 14, Lost Ruins of Arnak. So did I mention that I like worker placement games?
You did.
So number 13 happens to be one of those. And it is a very large, hefty box.
Oh boy.
Yes, Glendrover's Empires, Age of Discovery by Eagle Griffin Games. So, if you can't tell, this is a nice, hefty box.
It's beefy.
Lots of fun in here, though. There are, I think you can technically play up to, what, was it 6? I can't remember. There 5 or 6, and you have a bunch of different.
They're on top.
Yes, I can play up to 6. So it has a bunch of different little miniatures for each player. So there's like slots in the box for each. I mean, there's like a handful because you got like missionaries, merchants, builders, soldiers, like a bunch of different types of characters that will allow you to do different things. And there's a bunch of different spots you can place your worker, but depending on like if it's a missionary, etc., it might give you different benefits. And you're going to be placing some will be moved out into different regions on the board, and you can have some conflict and war, and the player that's doing the war can have a full out war or like a single battle. And then you're going to be, having to have income, and you'll be getting capital buildings that will give you like immediate bonuses or permanent bonuses, etc. And it's played in ages. So the reason why I first was intrigued by this game, because growing up, I wasn't huge into like playing computer games, but the one game that I absolutely loved was not I have this stuck in my head. It just that Empires.
Age of Empires.
Age of Empires 3 or something. I just love the concept of, you have your empire trying to go out and spread, and you had like different units. So I kind of got that feel with this one, and that there's like the different units. You got your merchants, you got your missionaries, you got your soldiers. So that was cool. But this is definitely a worker placement game. So that's what initially piqued my interest about this, because I think the original printing was called Age of it was. They changed the name because of licensing issues, or I guess it was too expensive or something. So they changed the name. So this is the more recent one. But if you like worker placement games and you don't mind like a nice production here, so then you should probably check this one out, because this one I enjoy and is fun.
Yeah, this one I think it's just been a little too long since I've played it that I can really say anything about. But I know I didn't mind it. I liked it. I liked it. It was a good game.
In that case, we're playing as soon as we finish.
Okay.
All night long.
Oh boy.
Just kidding. All right, so what's yours?
Okay, so for me, my number 13 is going to be Karuba.
Ooh.
And with Karuba, you have your explorers trying to forge a path through the jungle to get to their respective temples that they're trying to find. And as you're getting through, you're trying to find your most economical, fastest way to get to those temples for 4 different explorers. 4 different explorers trying to get to 4 different temples. And trying not to let them get in each other's way and all this kind of stuff. So it's a very fun game, and you're kind of picking up gems along the way. You're laying tiles to create the path to get to the temple. And it's one of those games that I tend to like that's puzzly.
And
right?
It seems like you always win this game.
I tend to do fairly well in this game. That's another reason I like it. But it's just one of those that I can kind of see and figure out the path and lay the tiles in that just right way, and I end up doing fairly well in this game in general.
Okay, so you're talking about like making paths and like laying tiles. you have similar concepts in Pipeline where you're like laying tiles, you have to connect certain pipes and come on.
Remember that this is laying tiles to create a path. Pipeline, you have to somehow find weird ways to acquire the tiles to then lay them down, and that part is just beyond me.
Whatever.
So this is much easier than Pipeline.
Well, yes, I was just joking around with you.
So
Yes, this is obviously way lighter than Pipeline.
Yeah. So this is my number 13.
This is my number 13. This lovely box here. You guys should check this one out. This one.
Alright, and moving on to number 12, I am going to bring out a deck builder.
Oh.
Okay, so deck builder dungeon crawl Clank. So I like Clank. I like Clank a lot. It is, in fact, my number 12, so I do like it quite a bit. So I really enjoy this. It's a fun deck builder that's helping. The cards are then giving you movements to go into the dungeon, and it's also giving you cards and swords to be able to fight monsters along the way. As you go into the dungeon, you're trying to pick up artifacts and different things that are going to give you points. But there's different ways that you can play it. You can go shallow into the dungeon and get a less valuable artifact, and then try and make your way back out. Or you can go deeper into the dungeon, but then you risk getting caught and
Get knocked out of the game.
Knocked out of the game, and the dragon could get you, right? So, and as you're going, you're also going to have these cards that create Clank, which the Clank that's being put into the Clank bin is what's then awakening the dragon and making him a little bit angry. So you want to make sure that you're doing what you can with your deck building to maybe reduce the amount of Clank that you're producing, so that you don't end up getting eaten by the dragon. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, really love Clank. A lot of fun. Really good deck building game. That's my number 12.
Good choice. That is a good game. I personally prefer Clank in Space. I think over Clank.
I haven't played it enough to know.
But yeah, with Clank in Space, you have to. So in this one, you can just go in shallow and get back out really quickly. Clank in Space, like everybody has to go to two different zones and drop off a data cube or something before you can go get an artifact. And it's just there's a little bit more involved with Clank in Space, and I tend to like a little more involved games. So, but yeah, this is a great game for sure. Definitely check this one out. Okay, my number 12 is a Days of Wonder game. I know I've already mentioned like 3 on previous lists. Any idea?
Memoir.
Oh, yeah. Memoir 44. Ooh. So, all right. So this is World War II based game. Super fun, super good. And it's not, one of those more heavy war games that I haven't really gotten into those. This is definitely a more entry level war game. And the board's fun because on one side is like the beach scenario, and then the other side is like more of a forest board. Mm-hmm. So this game comes with a bunch of different scenarios that you can play through, and they try to mimic the scenarios based off of like real battles. So that they try to set up different terrain, the different where the units are to start, kind of like what it was in back in the World War II. So this is a fun game. I mean, this also comes with a lot of miniatures. You got like tanks, you got little you got artillery, and you got your infantry, of course, and different hexes have different terrain, like towns or hedges, and there's obstacles, and you're just going head to head and trying to win. And I mean, on your turn, you're going to be playing a card. You're going to be moving your units, and you're going to be doing battle. This is fun.
I'm a big fan of Memoir 44 for sure. I tend to like war games. I tend to like 2-player war games.
Light war game.
lighter 2-player war games. But I really love this. The first time we played it, it took us a little while to get it to the table, right?
Yeah.
We got it for Christmas one year, and then it took us a little bit to actually get it to the table. But once we got it to the table, I think we played like 4 or 5 scenarios.
Over and over.
I think we played 4 or 5 scenarios before we actually put it away.
Yeah, it just sat out for like the whole week on the table here, and we were just left it out and kept playing it.
Yeah. It's a super fun game. We recently got an expansion for it, new flight plan.
Yes.
Actually, it's right up here.
There.
So that adds in some planes that can then fly over top. So we're excited to play that one.
Yeah, we haven't played that yet. We actually got that for this last Christmas, actually. Yeah. So we're excited to get that out and play it for this one.
Yeah, we're really excited. We love this game. So I'm glad you brought that one in.
All right, so that's our number 12s. So, once again, did I mention I like worker placement games?
You did mention that.
This is yet another one at my number 11 spot. It is the second game in the West Kingdom trilogy, and that would happen to be Paladins of the West Kingdom. Mm-hmm. Yes, I like this game a lot. So definitely worker placement stuff going on. Each player has their own large player board. And then there's also a main board that's shared with everybody. So each turn, you're going to have a paladin that's going to assist you for that round, which will give you like a special ability that will, make doing a certain action cheaper or something for that round. And you're going to have workers that you're placing on your board to take different actions. There's different buildings that you can build. I think workshops, if you build workshops, you move them over to the right side of your board to cover up a worker spot. That's going to reduce the cost of those actions. You can place out outposts on the main board and get benefits. You can attack outsiders, I think it's called. You can convert cards. There's a lot of stuff you can do in this game. So it's definitely not like, an easy, a super simple worker placement. There's a lot going on.
Which is why I haven't played it yet.
All right, you're going to play it. You're going to give it a try. You played Architects and you played Viscount, so you have to play Paladins. You have to complete the trilogy experience.
I'm all right with being incomplete.
Whatever. So, this is just a fun one. The only thing, okay. Why couldn't they have just made it a little bigger box? I know they were trying to keep them all the same, but there's so much stuff in this game. Like, see, look, it's like coming out. It's so hard to fit everything in here. That's just my little pet peeve with, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
But anyway, yes, so I love this game. This game is a lot of fun. Definitely need to check it out. My number 11. Paladins of the West Kingdom.
And to finish out for this video, the last game here, my number 11 is going to be making a repeat for this list, and it is Seven Wonders Duel. So for me, I love Seven Wonders and the whole experience of Seven Wonders and Seven Wonders Duel, and this is just I think one of the best 2-player games there is. So I really, really like this game. I like that you're drafting cards. I like that you are trying to kind of have this little tug of war battle that's going on with the military, and then there's even like this kind of there's a potential sudden death for somebody if somebody gets the right combination of cards, then then they could win automatically. So that's something to always be kind of.
What, the science cards, right?
I think it's the science cards. So you get a full collection of the science cards, and then game over, done. That's it. So there's a few things to be thinking about, but not so much that my brain blows up. And I just really, really love Seven Wonders Duel.
Yeah, so I actually thought, so you like this one, and then you like Dual Powers, and both of them have that track. They're both 2-player games. Both of them have that track where it's like a tug of war. You're trying to get your marker, on one side or the other side. Both of them have a similar thing like that.
Yeah, but that one is more of like.
I know they're different games.
I mean,
but
that's only one of the mechanisms
yeah, I
for
know.
winning.
I just thought about that.
But yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right. I don't know if I like that kind of tug of war feel in some of the games that I play, but yeah, I definitely like both of those types of games. So that is my
good choice.
Number 11, Seven Wonders Duel.
All right, so that is games number 11 through 20. A lot of amazingness that we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but there's better to come.
Oh, there could be, but that could be subjective as well.
No, it's better.
It's objective.
Better.
So we talked about a lot of different games in this segment here. So let us know in the comments below which of the games you like the most. We talked a lot of some heavier games, some abstract games, some lighter games. Which types of games did you like the most? And so like he mentioned, we have the top 10 coming up very, very soon. So make sure to stay in tune for that.
Definitely. And of course, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. And we look forward to seeing you in that next video. We will see you guys next time.
Adios.